What's everybody's initial thoughts with these semifinals? Everybody's won a Champions League except for PSG. They're the only ones who haven't won a Champions League. Dortmund have won. We know Real Madrid got it. We know Bayern got it. So is this time now for PSG to join the VIP club? We're gonna open the gates. PSG, come through and join the Winners Club. Is it gonna happen for PSG, or are Dortmund somehow gonna win this Champions League at the ground where they felt the heartbreak in 2013 with Terzic as manager, doing it for Marco Reus, Mats Hummels one last time getting the chip? Are Dortmund gonna do it? What about Bayern Munich? Been a very chaotic season for Hollywood FC. Tuchel's gonna leave at the end of the season. Kane, can he win his first ever trophy? Can Bayern win their first Champions League since 2020 and with sort of a very different team compared to then? Or are Real Madrid gonna get numero 15? Are they gonna get 15, people? Number 15 for the greatest club in the world. So, the first tie I'm going to talk about is Dortmund and PSG. Everybody get your thoughts in the chat, and if you're watching a replay, I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is going to advance between these two teams? We know both teams are familiar with each other. They were in the group of death. Dortmund lost 2-0 away at Paris, and then it was a 1-1 draw back in Dortmund. But I feel like Dortmund have grown into this season. They're looking a little bit stronger attacking-wise. I think that's because of the addition of Sancho and Motsen to the team. That, I think, helped a lot. The key for Dortmund is they got to get Donyell Malen fit. I think Donyell Malen with Sancho instead of Adeyemi, that's going to be a good option. Haller coming back from fitness, being a super sub, that is good because yes, Füllkrug scored an amazing goal. Füllkrug in that first leg was not great against Atleti. Second leg, he showed up. Haller, we saw, comes off the bench, instant impact, gets you a goal. So I think for Dortmund, they're growing into this season. They're looking like a strong team. Where I would be worried for Dortmund is defensively, they still do not look good and convincing. But you know what? It's something that I've come to accustom with this Dortmund side. They're just not great defensively. They're going to have to outscore PSG. But with the play of Mats Hummels, everybody can diss Mats Hummels in the Bundesliga. Yeah, maybe sometimes he doesn't have a great game. Champions League this season, Mats Hummels is in the team of the season for the Champions League. No doubt about it. He's going to have to keep Barcola, Mbappe, Dembele quiet. Can the two fullbacks, Ryerson and Motsen, keep the two wingers for PSG quiet? Because that's going to be the key here for Dortmund to win this tie at advance. And remember, the first leg is in Dortmund. The second leg is at the Parc des Princes? Yeah, Parc des Princes. So Dortmund, I think they should feel confident. It's not the worst opponent. They're familiar with each other. Yeah, Dortmund did not play a great game in that first home game against Paris, where they lost 2-0. I think Dortmund just tactically got it all wrong, and a lot of their players look kind of shell-shocked. This season in the Champions League, they're growing into it. They're looking like a mature team. And now they go up against PSG. For PSG, I will say this. They're not keeping a clean sheet in either game. They're not going to keep a clean sheet. But I don't think they care. They just know they got the firepower with Barcola, with Mbappe, with Dembele. They're looking strong in those aspects. Midfield starting to click now with Vitinha, Zaire Emery, and Fabian Ruiz. But when you look at the two midfields for Dortmund and PSG, I would kind of say they're 50-50. Emre Can is good at the DM role. I really don't think Vitinha is a DM, but Luis Enrique is persisting with it, so fair enough. And Julian Brandt has to start. He's going to start. But if Terzic somehow wakes up on the day, has a massive hangover, smokes a cigarette, and thinks to himself, yeah, let's put Mmecha back at 10, it's not going to work. So don't do it, Terzic. Keep playing Julian Brandt. And Sabitzer, if Sabitzer can have a similar performance to what he had against Atleti, then this midfield battle is going to be awesome to watch. So for PSG, I think they got confidence now. They can understand. If we go away to Dortmund, get a draw, take it back to Paris, we're in a good position. That's going to be, I think, the mindset for PSG. Not win the game. Just go there, get a draw, boom. Take it back home. And then that crowd in the second leg in Paris is going to be wild. It is going to be wild with the crazy tifos and pyro. It's going to be awesome to see both of these crowds, amazing atmospheres, especially in Dortmund as well with the yellow wall and 80,000 people. So it is a fascinating tie. It really is. Because is it 50-50? I would say so. I would say so. I think both teams, they've had their ups and downs this season, especially Dortmund. I mean, PSG, yeah, look, Ligue 1 is not going to be a contest. It's not. But in the Champions League, they have faced adversity, especially away from home. But at home, they just lost to Barcelona. So anything is possible. I would lean towards PSG just because they got the second leg at home. But Dortmund just got something about them this season in the Champions League. I can't put a finger on it. They got something going. It reminds me of Chelsea 2012. It really does. But Mbappe could be the difference maker. He did not play well against Barcelona. Barcelona just tactically knew how to nullify him. He's going up against Hummels, Schlotterbeck, Reis, and Matze. That's not Araujo. That's not Kubarsi. That's not Koundé. So Mbappe needs to have an influential performance in both legs for PSG to win this tie. He's going to have to be the main guy. He can't just be, all right, I'll just stand at the back. Okay, Dembele, you do your thing. Okay, Barcolo, do your thing. Mbappe must be the main reason and the main guy for PSG to advance to the final at Wembley. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let me know your thoughts in the chat. Who is advancing? Dortmund or PSG to Heritage? Now this is Heritage. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Oh, they have played some amazing ties in the 21st century. Amazing ties. 2018, 2017 with the controversy. Oh, I cannot wait for Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. It is going to be electric. Stars on the field, individual quality. For Bayern Munich and Tuchel, one of the more weirder seasons for Hollywood FC. Tuchel's going to leave. He's already announced it. They've lost the Bundesliga. They lost the DFB Pokal. So basically, this is it. This is everything for them. They go out, nothing. Nothing this season, which would be their first trophyless season since 2012. Yes, I think 2012. That would be their first trophyless season. So for Bayern Munich, are they just going to stick with Dyer and De Ligt? I think that's what Tuchel's going to do. Now, Alphonso Davies, if he does come back into the starting lineup, this guy needs to step up his performances. I'm sorry. He might be going up against his future club that he's going to play for. Davies, you got to step up with the performances. You can't just be okayish on the ball, okayish defensively. You got to be on point going up against Rodrigo, going up against Vini. Same thing on the right side. Kimmich. Kimmich has dealt well, I think, since being a right back, but now you're going up against Vini. Like, that's a whole different task to go up against. And can the midfield of Konrad Laimer and Goretzka, if that's what Tuchel's going to go with, unless Pavlovic comes into the starting 11, sustain their performances? Because, during the games against Arsenal, Laimer and Goretzka stepped up. Goretzka making last-ditch tackles really well. Konrad Laimer progressing with the ball. But now you're going up against Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouameni, Toni Kroos, Modric. Like, you're going up against some all-timers. All-timers. So it's going to be difficult for Bayern. And how is Tuchel going to tactically prepare for that situation? Is he going to be super defensive, or is he going to take the game to Real Madrid? But the main thing, and that's a good thing for Bayern, their attack can score goals. Harry Kane was quiet against Arsenal in Munich. Musiala, I don't think he had his best game over the two games. He's going to have a massive game. And he's going to have a massive game for Bayern. The left side, I don't know what Tuchel's going to do. If I was Tuchel, I would play Matthias Tell. But he's not going to do it. Is he going to persist with Guerrero? Or I don't think Gnabry's going to be fit for it. I'll have to recheck it after the stream. But if Gnabry will be fit, even I think he might be missing a couple weeks. So it's probably going to be Guerrero. And Leroy, just keep cooking. Whatever you're eating at home, keep eating it. Whatever it is. Strawberries, blueberries, avocado toast. Keep doing the same thing. Because Leroy was really good in those two games against Arsenal. Really good. And Kane, this is your moment, buddy. This is your moment. You can keep all of those people who say, not a big game player, can't show up when it's needed. This is where you need to show up, Kane. If you can get a couple goals against Real Madrid and help Bayern to get to the final, finally, a lot of people will shut up and give this guy the credit he deserves. Because Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world. He is. Top 2. I'm sorry, top 2. But now, you got to show up. This is your chance, Harry. If you want to get to that status of people respecting you and you finally win your first trophy, this is the moment. And what about Real Madrid? Well, I don't think Real Madrid have looked the most convincing in the knockout stage, but we've said that before, haven't we? 2022. They weren't the best side in 2022. No, they weren't. But they won the Champions League. Did they get outplayed by RB Leipzig? Yeah, they did. Did they get outplayed by Manchester City and Manchester? Yeah, they did. But it don't matter because that's Real Madrid. They just do it. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's not going to say, oh, they defensively were great and they didn't really attack in the Champions League. No, it's not going to say that on Wikipedia. It's going to say Real Madrid won the Champions League in 2022. And yeah, this season, the Champions League, especially in the knockout stage, Real Madrid have not been the best side. But they have experience and they have the players who can make a difference. That's what Real Madrid have. From Bellingham to Vini to Rodrigo to Valverde to Toni Kroos to Modric to come up. They got so many individual players who can make a difference. Even Brahim Diaz off the bench. And Real Madrid defensively have been pretty good for majority of this season. Yeah, against Man City, they gave up those 3 goals. 2 of those goals were golazos from Foden and Guivardio. And then obviously Lunin should have done better with Bernardo Silva free kick. Real Madrid, they're going to give up chances. Bayern, they're going to give up chances. So it's going to come down to the attackers. Who will be clinical? Can Vini step up again in a big Champions League game? What about Rodrigo? This man loves a Champions League goal. Loves it. And Bellingham? Maybe Bellingham can be that guy. Well, this is going to be fantastic, people. Oh, I cannot wait. I feel like there's going to be a lot of goals between Bayern and Real Madrid. I just have that funky feeling. I'm going to lean towards Real Madrid just because they have the second leg at home. But we have seen in the past between these two teams, you can never guarantee anything. You cannot. And there's going to be some madness, some chaotic. Oh, Bayern versus Real Madrid is what you call a classic UCL tie. And for me, I'm leaning towards Real Madrid. Oh, man. But see, the problem with these semifinals, PSG, Real Madrid, is too obvious. It's too obvious. Mbappe versus Real Madrid against his future club. It's too obvious. We never get the final that is too obvious. So you know what? I have this strange feeling that we're going to get Dortmund versus Bayern again at Wembley. I don't know why. I feel like both teams have gone through a lot of adversity. The managers have been questioned a lot this season, but they're just going to put their performances and put everything on the line in the Champions League, and they're going to both advance. And then in the final, well, we'll discuss about that when it gets to the final. But I think it's going to be Dortmund versus Bayern. I don't know why. This could be a great year for German football, and it might continue. Leverkusen finally win the league. They could go unbeaten, and then we could get a Dortmund Bayern Munich Champions League final, and Germany could win the Euros at home. Or am I just being too crazy with this storyline? Too crazy. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to be playing in the final at Wembley?